Go and support Iron Lung. It's pretty cool. Anyway, is it actually any good, or is it just kind of like a vanity project? Or is it like other poorly made but low budget horror movies? To be honest with you guys, I don't really watch Markiplier. I never really have. I know who he is. I watched a few videos in the past when I was a teenager, but not so much. But I still love the idea of a small studio, really just him and his help, creating a movie with low budget and just the passion for the material. While Hollywood spending hundreds of millions of dollars on kind of trashy stories that don't matter and just spending money on who knows what, there is still things coming out that are low budget but passionate and well made. Plus, I like the idea of supporting a YouTuber in their passion project. Obviously, he's a big one. He has plenty of money, so it's not like he's struggling by any means. But he had the means to do this, and I think it's super cool. I like the idea of supporting, maybe not these huge billion-dollar studios that just don't know how to make a good story anymore. And just support somebody that had the passion and the effort to be able to do it. One thing I will say is it's a little long. I heard this from the Critical Drinker as well. And, it seems like a short film extended. But overall, I think it works pretty well. So what's this movie about? I mean, you can get the concept from the trailers if you've seen them. From my understanding, something happened to humanity called the Quiet Rapture, and humans are scattered. There's this main character that they just call Convict, and he's sent down on this moon into a blood ocean to just take pictures and discover. This is from the concept of the game as well. I don't pretend to know much about the game. I haven't seen it or played it. But basically, he's in this rickety submarine in a blood ocean just trying to find stuff. And you can interpolate from there how that is kind of creepy and what might arise from that, knowing that it's a horror movie. Again, I don't want to say too much because, you don't want the spoilers for the actual movie itself, but it's also a kind of a mystery horror movie anyway, so you kind of only get tids and tads a little bit here and there anyway. It's never fully explained, but the concept is really cool. Visually, it looks great. You don't have a lot of locations. That's part of the reason why the budget is so low. But it looks good. It's filmed well, it's dynamic, it's got interesting lighting, and it's interesting the world it builds. It's fun to look at. My theaters where I live aren't very good, so, I have crushed black levels and stuff, but if you even have like a moderately decent cinema, it looks pretty nice, and I'm excited to see it in another format on my home media with an OLED TV. I think it would pop like that. The sound design was also very cool. That was pretty engaging and super suspenseful and really fun to listen to. As well as just like the whole concept of a blood moon where you have to find things in the ocean with just an X-ray camera. As well as the main character being very mysterious in what his backstory is. I do recommend that you don't watch this movie if you're below 16. Obviously, nowadays, plenty of people below 16 have tolerances for a lot of things. But it is a rated R movie, so you need permission from your parents anyway. But I think it is a little more appropriate for a little bit older. I'm also just a guy that kind of follows the guidelines for movies and video games in terms of I didn't really play many M games or rated R movies before I was 17, so maybe I'm just not used to it. To be fair to this movie, it is a horror movie, but I would say there's not that much horror until like the last third of the movie. Most of it's just a mystery movie with interesting concepts and like suspense. There's nothing like too crazy gory or anything until later. And I will say Markiplier did a great job at acting, being dramatic where it counts, being angry where it counts, but also being sincere and realize the humanity of himself. I think it was well acted and it was quite interesting to watch. Overall, I give the movie an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect by any means, and I'm not a huge horror film guy anyway, But for what it was, it worked really well for me. I'm really happy that this was able to get made for the people that were passionate about it. And I just really like the concept with the low budget and the space, the sci-fi horror aspect. It's just a really cool idea as well as very well executed. I'm actually interested to see if there's any efforts to see if there will be more, or if there's more exploration of this world. Or is it just a one and done sort of thing? It might just be a one and done thing, but I will say what it sets up is very interesting, and I'm excited that this was made at all. It was definitely made more out of not just money, but out of, you know what would be cool? And I feel like that's what, you know, old YouTube used to be, and now here's just basically at a high budget level. What can we do that's cool? So I would recommend to most people, as long as you can handle some blood and a little bit of horror, it's not that much, like I said, to go give it a shot. It is pretty cool, and I would love to see it succeed. I mean, it's already way past where it needs to be considered a success, but I like to see these things do well, and I want to know your guys' thoughts on this movie. If you liked it, or if you didn't, and what do you think? Or if you're just going to wait until it comes out later instead of waiting for the cinema.
Beginning the descent. Cruising depth in roughly 2 minutes. Stand by.
I ask myself that very same question.